chase them away, and take over the seat of power to ensure the return of his boss. At the time of his return, the coup was in full gear. Everywhere was charged. Bello did not know that his return to the barracks would mark the end of his life. He found his way to one of the armored tanks and entered the tank prepared to engage the coup plotters. Bello began to press the buttons in the tank, but unknown to him, the firing pins of the armored tanks had been removed by the maintenance engineer who last serviced the tank. The said engineer did so on purpose, as he was later identified as one of the coup plotters. While Bello was in the armored tank, he was sighted by the coup plotters, who got closer and shot him at close range. Bello died instantly inside the armored tank. At this time, Radio Nigeria had been taken over by some of the coup plotters, and Major Gideon Oka was making his broadcast to the nation, announcing the coup and the reasons for the coup. Gideon and his men were eventually overpowered and captured by the team led by Lieutenant General Sani Abacha, who was Babangida's right-hand man, trusted friend, and colleague and close ally in military uniform. Abacha took charge of the seat of power and made an initial broadcast to the nation and assured everyone to be calm as the situation was under control. He then made contact with the head of state, who then made his way back to the barracks and also made a speech to the nation, reassuring everyone that he is still the man in power and that the coup plotters had been dislodged. Nothing had shaken Babangida like the events of the Gideon Oka's coup. The coup plotters were immediately rounded up and charged to a military court-martial. The situation was under control, but it appears that Babangida was no more comfortable operating from the barracks. He led of the government of Nigeria to live in Aso Villa. Recall that one of the issues with Dodan Barracks was the fact that the barracks also served as residential quarters for military officers and their families, thus making movement in the barracks difficult to control. Aso Villa was built in a way as to avoid such situation. The villa is more protected and highly restricted to the extent that no one is allowed to go in unless you are on appointment. Since the relocation of the residence of the president to Aso Rock, the violent takeover of government which characterized Dodan Barracks has not been witnessed in the villa since 1991 till date. In moving the seat of power from Dodan Barracks to Aso Rock, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida had indeed provided a lasting solution to what was becoming a perennial problem to Nigeria. Thanks for watching this episode of Back in History, and do remember to subscribe to the channel for regular notifications on every new video. His life had been closely threatened and he was not sure of what could happen next. He fortified his security but still did not trust Dodan Barracks anymore. Babangida then commissioned the construction giant Julius Berger PLC to give him an architectural design of a presidential lodge comprising the official workplace of the president. He added that the lodge is to be sited at Abuja, which had already been proposed as the new Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria in 1976 by the government of General Murtala Mohammed. For Babangida, the presidential lodge needed to be constructed without any delay whatsoever to fast-track the relocation of the seat of power from the Dodan Barracks to Abuja, and to further fast-track the relocation of other arms of government to the new Federal Capital Territory. Julius Berger went to work, used the best set of architects and engineers. They literally worked day and night, and on the dot of 13 months, the villa was completed and ready for habitation. Specifically, the construction work started on October 13, 1989 and was completed and handed over to the government of Nigeria on November 1st, 1991. What was handed over was a magnificent edifice comprising the office of the president and the seat of power, and also comprising the official residence of the president and members of his family. It was and still is a structure to behold. President Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida then moved into the villa on December 12, 1991. He thus became the first head of the government.
Hello and welcome to the channel. After Obasanjo's failed third-term bid, then came Umar Musa Yar'Adua. Yar'Adua's case is a classic example of the power of native prebendal forces. Yar'Adua, a good man, was dying, even died, but these forces will not let go of the crown, not because they love the deceased, but out of sheer self-preservation. Their gluttonous existence will be threatened by his exit from power. Goodluck Jonathan broke the curse somewhat, but that's because he was left with no choice. The people rejected him. Big mistake in hindsight. In came retired General Muhammadu Buhari. A sickly Buhari, I must add, just like Yar'Adua. And just like Yar'Adua, Buhari was prepared to die in Aso Rock. So sick was he that he spent more than half of his first term in the United Kingdom battling one illness or the other. Rumors of his death even surfaced, with some insisting that he had actually died and that a clone returned in his stead. The mind of Nigerians, as if Nigeria is even remotely sophisticated to pull off such a move. Anyways, the constantly sick former general returned and largely enjoyed a clean bill of health for his second term as he makes way for yet another sickly president. And yet you still think the rock isn't cursed. That's the news, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time. Bye.